Hey, Shalom, welcome to Rakam Makapashim Jim. It's Lana giving all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, by Hashem Chachwadash. I want to give double honors unto the elders, the apostles of GMS, and Shalom out there to the whole for that pushing his truth and all sincerity. Back again with another video, another lesson. And this was just based on some researching I was doing. You know, we all read this Ecclesiastes chapter 12, you know, often concerning Esau and his policies, his laws, his mandates, and things like that. You know, like he out here trying to help people. Okay, when we know he's the devil, that he's our enemy, that the Bible speaks about, right? And that he ain't here to do us any good. All right, so we bring this out a lot, and I wanted to look into the word looking glass, because I've said it a lot, but not really fully understood what it was. So I decided to do a little reading up on it. All right, so I found an interesting internet page and something that the Zondervan Bible Dictionary sort of reiterates, all right, confirms. So I'm going to read this, right? This is Ecclesiastes, or otherwise known as Sirach, chapter 12, verse 10 says, "Never trust thine enemy, for like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness." Right? When metal or iron, rust, it's corrupted. It's being corroded. And when you look into the word rust in the scriptures, it means to eat, right? Because that's essentially what's happening when the rust or when the iron oxidizes, it corrodes, wastes away, just like Esau, right? As his name is, right? And becomes what's the word they used, man? It's like an engineering term. Basically, it's it becomes defective and it's not as strong as it once was. That's why, you know, cars that become rusty, they become kind of brutal, they break, right? And that's why you don't want rust, right? You got rust in your car. Well, you wanna get that checked out as soon as possible, but it's the oxidization has already occurred, and really the parts have become corrupted, and they're slowly, I mean, you can slow it down, the spread and all that kind of business, but it's slowly wasting away. Okay, and eventually it's gonna fall apart. All right. So yeah, you don't want rust on your car, or anything for that matter. It's kind of similar to mold. When you get mold in the house, it's it's really difficult to get rid of it, right? And what the scriptures uh say about mold, like plague in your house or whatever, you have to kind of get rid of the wood and all that kind of stuff, that the walls that it's affecting. Okay, and rebuild it. Start anew. Right, you have to kind of throw it out because it can affect the whole house. And we know what mold does. If you've got mold in the house, that makes you sick, makes you ill. Okay, all the spores and that, floating around in the air, and you're breathing that in. Okay, it makes the body sick. All right, it can cause death. All right, so you don't want these types of things around, man. They're corruptions. They are, hazardous, right? Anyway, so yeah, so it's like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness, right? So that what it goes on to say now, concerning our enemies, so concerning Esau, right? It's embedded, right? He's already corrupted. He's messed up, right? He's wicked. He's the wicked, right? And that ain't gonna go away. Okay, Esau's not gonna change. Okay, that is embedded in him, right? And it's eating away at him, right? Wasted away is he, right? It's eating away at him, because that he's corrupted, right? So verse 11 goes on to say, so though he humble himself and go crouching, right? So he will appear on the surface. It's like he's your friend. The scriptures say, he appeareth as an angel of light. Okay, but it's just a false facade that he puts on to beguile you, for you to lower your guard around him. Okay, thinking that he's some nice person, that he's only got your best, he's only got good intentions, he's only looking for the best for you, but he's not the truth. All right, So though he humble himself and go crouching, yet take good heed and beware of him. So even when he's like this, even when he is appearing all righteous, so-called righteous and kind and whatever, even though he appears like that, beware of him, man. You're not meant to put, lower your guard around Esau, man. Okay, we're still captives, remember. Our people are still captives. Right? We're still under his system, still under, under oppression. Still being ruled over by these Edomites, man. By the so-called white man. Okay, he is still our enemy. Right? He's been our enemy for a long time. Right? So we're not meant to be lowering our guard around him, thinking that, oh, he's changed, he's gotten better. He's looking out for us. He ain't doing shit. Okay, because he's fundamentally flawed. Okay, he's got rust in him, and he's fundamentally flawed. He's wicked. Okay, and that wicked is embedded deep. Right? It's deeper than the surface. This is what the analogy, goes into, right? It says, take good heed and beware of him, and thou shalt be unto him as if thou hadst wiped a looking glass. Right? So, I'm going to read it on. I said, and thou shalt know that his rust have not been altogether wiped away, right? So, a looking glass essentially is just a mirror, right? And you'll find out that generally, okay, it was, depending on the time and era, okay, it was made out of metals, highly polished metals, right? So let me read this. I got this. Where did I get this from? I'm gonna read this verbatim, right? JewishCurrents.org. It said mirrors in the Bible and Jewish tradition, right? It says that many everyday objects make appearances in the Bible, either as utilities or as elements within figures of speech. Mirrors are among these, right? I'm gonna skip down, right? So, biblical references to actual use of mirrors are scarce. However, still, the mirror has an important role in Jewish tradition and culture. Before we look for them in the Bible, let's find out what mirrors actually were like in biblical days. They were certainly not the glass mirrors that we use today. Okay, glass mirrors appear only in the 1st century CE, Common Era, and did not come into widespread use until the invention of the silver glass mirror in Germany in 1835. Right, this is what guess is what we're all mostly rolling with today. We got these mirrored glass in plastic frames or metal frames or whatever you got around your houses. All right. So mirrors of the biblical era were highly polished volcanic stones called obsidian. Some found in Turkey date back to 16,000 BCE. Later, as people gained greater insight into metallurgy, highly polished metals were used. First brass, then silver and gold. Metal alloys were soon widespread, especially a mix of tin and copper. Excavations of various ancient centers of culture show that such mirrors were used some 2,000 years before the Common Era in all major regions of the known world. By the Common Era, silver mirrors were so widespread that Pliny, 1st century CE, noted that even maid servants were using them. All right, so yeah, they were highly polished metals, right? What being used for mirrors. So what he's speaking about here is these metal mirrors, right? When you wipe it, because you want to buff it up or whatever, okay, you're gonna find that the rust is still there. It might, it looked better after you polished it, after you buffered it up and that, but you're gonna find that the rust is still there. Right, and this is what it's saying with Esau and our enemies, that especially Esau, that he still has that corruption in him. He's not changed. Okay, he's not become your friend. He hasn't become your ally. Right? He's always gonna be the enemy. Right? Because the thing that's wrong with him, right, is deep rooted. Okay, it has corrupted. The mirror has been corrupted, and it will stay corrupted. Okay, wiping it ain't gonna solve the issue. So, like I said, Esau's problem is deep rooted because he's made to be the wicked. That is his what do you call that? That's his mindset. That's how he's been set. That's his design. And the Most High designed him to be the wicked. So that's him. That's his characteristics, right? And the problem that he has with us specifically is because we're the chosen, and he has not been chosen. We've got the birthright. He don't got the birthright, and he want the birthright. He want to rule forever. He want the everlasting kingdom, right? But because he can't have that, this is why there's there's a particular beef between us, and that stems all the way back in in the womb, right, before we came out, and even prior to that with Cain and Abel, prior to going back even further from the serpent in the garden, man. And the Lord said he put enmity between her seed and the serpent's seed, and this is the manifestation of that. These two nations, Esau or Edom and Israel. All right, so there's no way that we can expect our mortal enemy, our complete opposite, right, to be our friend, or to think he's some sort of like an ally to us, man. Okay, that is not what he is, man. And his history and how he's done things on earth, man, is apparent to all. And that wickedness that's in him, okay, is never gonna go away, man. As much as he put on a shirt and tie, put a suit on, get your hair groomed, unless you're Boris, right? That ain't gonna change what he is and what he's doing. Okay, he's leading the world to destruction, right? And he's looking to destroy Israel. You Jake out there, man. Like I say, he's continuously keeping us oppressed, right? So that's not going to change. Okay, no matter how you want to dress it up, okay, you can't polish that and it disappear. Okay, you gotta do something more drastic, man. But just to quickly, man, I got the Zondervan the Bible Dictionary here. And when you look for the word looking glass, it'll redirect you to the word mirror, right? And so it says here under mirror, it says any smooth or polished surface as of glass or of metal that forms images by reflecting light. Okay, so that's essentially what it's doing, right? So a metal surface can do that. All right. And it's got here, it says here, Paul reminds us of 1 Corinthians 13 and 12 by saying that now we see through a glass darkly. Paul does not mean that the mirror is transparent, but that the image is distinct of the inadequacy of those ancient mirrors, right? I mean, you can't see clearly in it, And it's kind of like, nah, people don't really know what's going on. They don't understand what's about to happen, man. However, those of us with the prophecies, man, we understand what's going to go on. Right? You got all these guys, thinking that this kingdom somehow going to continue. So it's just it's just an economic downturn right now. It will come back up. We're gonna avert World War III somehow because it's ludicrous, and they ain't gonna really want to do that. And but you don't understand the prophecies, man. You don't understand how the course of this world and the course that it's set on. All right. So you don't really know what you're talking about. You can't actually see. Okay, you're blind. All right. You can't see that image. All right. So just a little bit of research. I thought I'd just share. Lord willing, it was edifying. So with that, I'm gonna say shalom, and I see you brothers and sisters in the next video. So till next time, I say shalom.